Beginning, the mistake that shook the stars. My name is Jonas Hale, and until 3 weeks ago, I was the most average cargo pilot in the outer sectors of human space. No heroic background, no secret powers, no destiny. Just a rusty freighter named the Rust Wing, hauling scrap metal and mining equipment between colonies too small for official trade routes. My biggest worry used to be whether my coffee machine would break again. Then I accidentally changed the fate of the entire galaxy. And somehow, it ended with an AlienQueen demanding that I marry her. The trouble began in the Dravik Void, a quiet stretch of space where navigation buoys barely functioned and pirates usually ignored you because there was nothing worth stealing. I was flying through on autopilot when the sensors suddenly exploded with warnings. Gravitational distortion detected. Great, I muttered, leaning forward in my chair. What now? Outside the cockpit window, space itself twisted. A massive war fleet appeared, dozens of ships shaped like black spears cutting through starlight. My scanner identified them instantly. The Vorath Armada. Every species in the galaxy feared them. The Vorath were conquerors, ancient, brutal, unstoppable. Entire civilizations had disappeared after their fleets arrived. And somehow, my little cargo freighter had warped right into the middle of their formation. Okay, stay calm, I whispered. I turned the ship to flee. But it was too late. A massive Vorath dreadnought powered up, a weapon the size of a city. A beam of annihilating energy surged toward a distant planet, Erythra, the capital world of the Liriani Empire. If that beam fired, the planet would be gone. Billions dead. And the war would begin. My navigation computer malfunctioned at that exact moment. The Rust Wing jerked sideways, straight into the Vorath firing array. There was a thunderous flash of energy. My ship spun wildly through space. And behind me, the beam misfired. Instead of striking the planet, it slammed into the Vorath fleet itself. The resulting explosion ripped through half their formation. Battleships detonated like fireworks. Shockwaves shattered their command ship. The Vorath Armada, the most terrifying fleet in the galaxy, collapsed in seconds. I stared at the screen in stunned silence. Oops. The Queen who summoned me. 2 hours later, I was surrounded by warships belonging to the Liriani Empire. Graceful vessels of silver and blue energy, glowing like floating constellations. One of them locked onto my freighter with a tractor beam. Unknown human vessel, a voice echoed through my speakers. You are ordered to surrender peacefully. I'm already surrendering, I yelled. Please don't shoot. My ship was pulled into a massive docking bay. When the hatch opened, I was greeted by soldiers wearing sleek armor that shimmered like moonlight. They escorted me through towering corridors of crystal and light until we reached a massive throne chamber. And that's when I saw her. Queen Alindra. She was taller than any human woman, with luminous silver skin and long dark hair that shimmered with faint starlight. Her eyes glowed violet, ancient, intelligent, and terrifyingly calm. A crown floated slightly above her head, made of orbiting fragments of crystal. The room fell silent as she studied me. You are the human pilot responsible for the destruction of the Vorath Armada. Destruction? I said nervously. That was more of a happy accident. Her lips curved into a faint smile. Your accident saved billions of lives. I rubbed the back of my neck. Well, you're welcome, the court murmured. The Queen stood from her throne and walked down the steps toward me. You changed the course of galactic history today. Her gaze sharpened. And, according to Liriani law, such an act binds you to the throne. I blinked. Binds me how? She stopped only a few feet away. You must marry me. The entire court gasped. I nearly fainted. The truth about the prophecy. At first, I thought the Queen was joking. She wasn't. I was escorted to a private chamber where Queen Alindra explained everything. For centuries, she said, activating a glowing hologram, our people have followed an ancient prophecy. The hologram displayed swirling constellations and ancient symbols. It says that when the Vorith return to destroy us, a wanderer from beyond the stars will shatter their spear and change destiny. She turned to face me. That wanderer is you. I stared. Because my navigation computer broke? The prophecy did not specify competence, she said calmly. Comforting. She folded her arms. The prophecy continues. It states that the wanderer must unite with the AlienQueen, or the galaxy will fall into chaos. Of course it does, I groaned. Alindra watched me carefully. You are free to refuse. Oh, good. But if you do, the prophecy remains incomplete. And every rival empire will assume our throne has lost the favor of destiny. My stomach dropped. That means war. Yes. So, if I say no, billions could die again? Correct. I sighed deeply. This is the worst day of my life. She tilted her head slightly. You saved the galaxy. And got drafted into a royal marriage. Yes. I pointed at her. You don't seem upset about that. Her faint smile returned. On the contrary, I find the situation fascinating. The assassins arrive. The wedding announcement spread across the galaxy in less than a day. Not everyone was happy. 3 days later, the palace alarms began screaming. An officer burst into the chamber. Your Majesty, enemy infiltrators. Alindra's expression hardened instantly. Who? Vorith survivors. Apparently, some of them had escaped the fleet explosion, and now they wanted revenge. Explosions echoed through the palace. Energy weapons flashed outside the windows. Alindra grabbed a crystalline blade from the wall. Stay here, she told me. Nope, I said. She frowned. This is not your battle. They're here because of me. Her eyes studied my face. Then she tossed me a smaller weapon. Try not to die. The battle for the palace. Vorith soldiers burst through the doors moments later. They were massive creatures covered in black armor, with glowing red eyes and claws like blades. One lunged toward Alindra. I reacted without thinking. I fired the weapon she'd given me. A blast of blue energy knocked the creature across the room. Alindra looked surprised. You fight well for someone who claims to be average. I play a lot of video games. More soldiers poured in. The queen moved like lightning, her blades slicing through armor with flashes of silver light. But there were too many. One Vorith commander aimed a weapon directly at Alindra. Without thinking, I jumped between them. The blast hit the shield generator on my borrowed armor, throwing me across the room. I hit the wall hard. My vision blurred. When I looked up, Alindra was standing over the fallen commander, breathing heavily. Her eyes were wide. You protected me. I coughed. Isn't that what husbands are supposed to do? For a moment, the fierce alien queen looked almost vulnerable. Then she helped me to my feet. You are either incredibly brave, she said softly, or incredibly foolish. Probably both. She smiled. A real smile this time. Ending. The human who changed destiny. The remaining Vorith were defeated within the hour. The palace slowly returned to calm. Later that evening, Alindra and I stood on a balcony overlooking the capital city. Millions of glowing towers stretched across the horizon. The sky shimmered with starships celebrating the victory. You changed everything today, she said quietly. I really didn't mean to, yet you did. She turned toward me. Jonas Hale, do you regret agreeing to the marriage? I thought about it. 3 weeks ago, I had been hauling scrap metal through forgotten space routes. Now I was standing beside an alien queen, looking out over a civilization of billions. "I regret crashing my ship," I said. She laughed softly. "But not the rest?" I shook my head.
"No."
"Not the rest." She reached out and took my hand. According to Liriani tradition, that simple gesture sealed the bond between us. "Then let the galaxy witness it," she said. The palace lights brightened. Fireworks exploded across the sky. The royal herald announced our union to every star system. Queen Alindra leaned closer, her glowing eyes warm. "You arrived in my empire by accident. Story of my life. But you stayed by choice." She smiled. "And now the human who changed destiny will rule beside me." I looked out at the endless sea of stars. 3 weeks ago, I had been nobody. Now I was married to the most powerful queen in the galaxy. All because my navigation computer glitched. I laughed quietly. "Next time," I said, "I'm double-checking my autopilot." Alindra squeezed my hand. "No," she said softly. "Next time, we change the galaxy together." And somewhere out in the darkness between the stars, the future shifted once again.